Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Miami Heat proposed trade adds $114 million All-Star for Harrow, picks. The Miami Heat could take their upcoming offseason in any number of directions this week, starting with how the team approaches Wednesday's draft. There has been ample speculation that team president Pat Riley will ship out star wing Jimmy Butler, after an injury-marred season and Butler's known desire for a contract extension the Heat don't want to pay. That move would see Miami evolve into a team built more around center Bam Adebayo and give up on the current iteration of the Butler-Bam Heat, which reached the NBA Finals in 2020 and again in 2023, but did not win a championship. There's a world, too, though, in which the Heat attempt to make one more run at a ring with Butler in place, extension or not. In that world, though, the Heat will need to be aggressive on the trade market in an attempt to bolster the team's rotation and defense. One player who could fit the bill, Hawks guard DeJounte Murray, who is eminently obtainable these days. Murray is not quite a perfect fit for the Heat's needs, but Miami must consider how easy it would be to bring him in as part of their trade deliberations. There are other suitors for Murray, if and when the Hawks get serious about moving him, so the Heat would need a bit of luck. They've gotten some already, as one potential team that had interest in Murray, the Knicks, made their big move on Tuesday night, getting Mikal Bridges from the Nets. They can do a straight trade of Tyler, Harrow, for Murray, if they are willing to send the picks, one NBA executive told Heavy Sports this week. Is Atlanta going to want 3 picks? If the Heat can do Harrow with 2 picks, that is probably the sweet spot. Murray gives you a guy who can play 2 ways, who can run your offense and lay off the ball if he needs to. One caveat that the exec offered though, the acquisition of Terry Rozier at least year's trade deadline, and the willingness of Miami to take on his $51 million of remaining salary over the next 2 years, could put a damper on the Heat's willingness to add another point guard. Rozier would make sense as a 6th-man super-sub type, but the Heat would have to be comfortable with the notion of playing Murray and Rozier together for significant stretches. In the end, a trade of Harrow and 2 first-round picks, the Heat can't send out picks until 2029 and 2031, for Murray might not be enough for Atlanta, unless the market on Murray turns out to be especially dry. Both Murray and Trae Young are expected to be on offer for the Hawks, but Murray's contract and two-way ability make him the better trade option for a team like the Miami Heat, or just about any other team, for that matter. Murray was not a great defender with the Hawks for the past 2 seasons, but at 6'5" and with his athleticism, he was an all-defense second-team selection in 2018, and an All-Star in 2021-22, when he was the runner-up for the league's Most Improved Player award. Murray averaged 22.5 points, 6.4 assists, and 5.3 rebounds last year, shooting 45.9% from the field and a SOSO 36.3% from the three-point line. At $25.5 million for the 2024-25 season, Murray is just entering a reasonably priced 4-year, $114 million extension, part of the reason he is coveted around the NBA. Heat predicted to trade Jimmy Butler to West for $197 million sharpshooter. The Miami Heat have said they don't intend to deal star Jimmy Butler this summer, but some prominent NBA insiders contend that is merely posturing on the team's part. Howard Beck of The Ringer flat-out stated on June 21 that Butler will be on the move ahead of next season. Jimmy Butler will be traded, Beck wrote on June 21. Rival executives have been buzzing about it for months, for all the obvious reasons. Butler is about to turn 35, with a lot of hard miles and a lot of injuries, with 1 year left on his Heat contract, and is reportedly seeking a 2-year, $113 million extension. If the Heat grant it, they'll have little to no flexibility to add another star. And they absolutely need one. Using Beck's reporting as his premise, Greg Swartz of Bleacher Report named the Memphis Grizzlies a surprise landing spot for Butler, who will likely garner interest from several organizations if he ends up on the block. If the Grizzlies want to re-establish themselves as a powerhouse in the conference, bringing in Butler to team up with Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. would certainly make a statement, Swartz wrote. A deal based around Desmond Bane seems like the most likely outcome. Losing Butler hurts, although it gives the Heat a new 26 and under core of Bane, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, Jamie Jaquez Jr. and Nikola Jovic to build around without worrying about an extension for Butler. Getty Desmond Bane of the Memphis Grizzlies drives the ball against Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors during an NBA game. Bane would slot into the Heat backcourt as a dynamic scorer. He has averaged 21.5 and 23.7 points per game in the past 2 regular seasons, respectively, while shooting 41.5% from deep for his career on 6.4 attempts per game. Bane doesn't have Butler's size or defensive prowess, though Bane has proven himself a solid defender across his 4-year career. He finished last season with a defensive rating of 116.6, while the league average defensive rating was 116.1, essentially ranking Bane as a middle-of-the-pack defender. Report: Knicks showing interest in Jimmy Butler. The New York Knicks reportedly are interested in Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler if he becomes available on the trade market this offseason. Butler had boasted the Heat would have sent the Knicks home had Miami faced them in the playoffs, the Palm Beach Post's Mark Berman wrote. Ironically, the Knicks reportedly have an eye on the potential Butler sweepstakes. Butler, 34, is under contract for the 2024-25 season and has a player option for the 2025-26 season. He could opt out of his deal after the 2024-25 campaign to become an unrestricted free agent. It's been reported that NBA executives are watching how the Heat will handle Butler's contract since he is eligible for an extension this offseason. There have also been reports that believe Butler will be moved, including a recent one from Howard Beck. Jimmy Butler will be traded, Beck said. Rival executives have been buzzing about it for months, for all the obvious reasons. Butler is about to turn 35, with a lot of hard miles and a lot of injuries, with 1 year left on his Heat contract, and is reportedly seeking a 2-year, $113 million extension. If the Heat grant it, they'll have little to no flexibility to add another star. And they absolutely need one. The Knicks could make sense as a destination for Butler after they earned the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference last season. New York could use a running mate for All-NBA guard Jalen Brunson to compete for a title, and if it doesn't want to keep Julius Randle on the roster, he could be a primary piece in a Butler deal. Plus, there is a major connection between Butler and Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau. Butler played for Thibodeau with the Chicago Bulls and with the Minnesota Timberwolves earlier in his career. Miami is in a tough position, as it has made the NBA Finals twice with Butler on the roster and would be giving up on its current core if it trades him. However, a Butler trade could also help Miami rebuild the team around younger players like Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo. During the 2023-24 season, Butler averaged 20.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 5.0 assists per game in 60 contests. He shot 49.9% from the field and 41.4% from beyond the arc. Since coming to Miami ahead of the 2019-20 season, Butler has led the Heat to 3 Eastern Conference Finals appearances and 2 NBA Finals appearances while being named an All-Star twice. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.